You know that feeling, right? You're on a road, and you see that little side road. Hey, maybe I'll take a shortcut, save some time. We've all thought about it. But what if that simple choice wasn't so simple? For two friends, it led them down a path that, well, it wasn't on any map, and it plunged them into a night that just wouldn't end.
So look, this isn't some made-up campfire tale. This is a real story from a subscriber named Ankur, and what happened to him is so unsettling, it's gonna make you question everything you think you know about time, about reality itself.
Okay, before we dive into all the scary stuff, let's rewind. Let's start with they did, which was in this amazing moment of pure victory. Just try to imagine that feeling, 4 years of college are done, all that hard work finally paid off, you've got your degree, your whole life is right there in front of you. That's where our story kicks off.
So, let me introduce you to Ankur and Karan. These guys have been friends since they were kids, 4 years old. Basically brothers. They just finished up 4 really tough years of engineering in a city called Bhubaneswar in India. And to celebrate, they decide to have one last adventure together, an 8-hour bike ride all the way home on Ankur's bike. Now, the summer heat over there is no joke. So, to avoid it, they made a key decision. They were gonna travel at night. Thing is, they'd never actually done this route at night before. So, they ship their luggage ahead, say their farewells, and boom, by 11:30 at night, they're on the open road. You can just imagine that feeling of freedom. A little later, around 1 in the morning, they stop at a roadside diner, what's called a Dhaba, to grab some dinner.
And it's here, while they're eating, that they sort of overhear this family at the table next to them. The parents are telling their little girl this super creepy local ghost story. It's all about a haunted road not too far from there, crawling with witches. And the parents are saying they once got stuck there and had to hide in a temple all night long just to stay safe. And Ankur and Karan are listening in, kind of half laughing about it, but also a little intrigued.
Right. This is it. This is the moment where everything starts to shift. They leave the diner, get back on the bike, and suddenly, that silly ghost story doesn't seem so silly anymore. It's kind of sticking with them. That same highway that felt so liberating an hour ago now, it just feels empty and dark and honestly a little threatening.
The road in front of them, it looks exactly like the one from the story. Just this long, lonely stretch of asphalt getting swallowed up by the forest on both sides. And the silence is deafening. No other cars, no trucks, not a single living thing in sight. This is when Karan starts to freak out. He's begging Ankur, dude, let's take that village shortcut. I just want to see a house, some lights, anything. Ankur's not so sure, but he reluctantly agrees.
Yeah, big mistake. Any hope they had for feeling safer, it's gone, instantly. This shortcut, it's this narrow, one-way lane, and it's completely pitch black. The forest feels even denser here, like the air itself is heavier. They know it immediately. They've made a horrible, horrible mistake. This is way, way scarier than the highway. And this is where things go from just being a scary ride to a full-blown, impossible nightmare. Because they're about to find out they aren't just trapped on a road, they're trapped in a moment that they literally can't escape from.
And then, up ahead, they see it. A small temple on the side of the road. It's like this little flicker of hope in all that darkness. They pull over, say a quick prayer, just begging for this feeling to go away. And right before they get back on the bike, Ankur checks his watch. It's 2:45 a.m., okay? Just remember that time, 2:45. So they get going, and they drive. And they keep driving. Now this stretch of road, it should only take them 15 minutes max. But 15 minutes turns into an hour. Then it feels like almost 2 hours. The village is still nowhere. The road just keeps going on and on into the dark. Finally, Karan gets his phone out to check the time. So, after what felt like 2 hours of driving, what time do you think it was?
2:47 a.m. 2 minutes. That's it. Only 2 minutes had passed. They'd been riding non-stop for what felt like hours, and only 2 minutes had gone by. Time wasn't just slow, it was frozen. They were stuck.
So panic just explodes into pure, absolute terror. Then the bike just sputters and dies. The fuel tank is empty, but that's impossible. They had plenty of gas. They checked the time again, still 2:47 a.m. And that's when the very air around them begins to change. Suddenly, it's like this crushing weight is pressing down on both of them. It feels like all the oxygen is just being vacuumed out of the world. They can't get a breath in. In the middle of this wide open forest, they're suffocating.
And then, the worst feeling of all. They both feel it at the exact same time. They're not alone. There is something or someone walking right behind them. They look back. Nothing. But the feeling just gets stronger and stronger.
Ankur is desperate. He remembers this old trick. He blows into the gas tank as hard as he can to force the last few fumes into the engine. He thinks, this is our only chance. We have to get off this road. We have to break the loop. He hits the ignition. The engine catches, and he just yanks the handlebars and drives straight off the road, right into the pitch-black jungle. As they're crashing through the trees, Karan is scrambling for his phone. He finds a holy prayer and hits play. And the second that sacred chanting starts, bang! A huge sound rips through the woods. The back tire just explodes. The bike goes into a spin, they lose all control and slam head-on into a concrete wall. And then, everything goes black.
The next thing Ankur knows, he's waking up. But he's not in the forest. He's in some small, clean room. He's in a hospital. He looks over, and Karan's in the next bed, all bandaged up, but he's alive. And there's a man standing there, looking down at them. Ankur recognizes him. It's the Watchman he saw staring out of a window right after they crashed.
Ankur, confused and angry, asks him, "Why didn't you help us?" And the Watchman's answer is just chilling. He tells them he saw the whole thing happen, but he couldn't come out. He was trapped. He explains that his house is protected by a powerful ritual, but part of that protection means no one can leave after dark. If he'd stepped outside, he would have been offering himself up to whatever it is that haunts that road.
And then, the Watchman tells them the story behind the road. The reason it's cursed. It's an old, local tragedy. See, years and years ago, the daughter of a really wealthy, powerful man fell in love with a poor boy from the village. While her father found out, and he had his men beat the boy to death. The girl was so heartbroken, she went to that very spot on the road and took her own life. And her spirit, her angry, vengeful spirit, has been there ever since.
So Ankur and Karan, they made it. They survived. But an experience like that, it leaves a mark, you know? A scar that's never really going to heal. They got a second chance at life, but it came with a piece of knowledge that is absolutely terrifying.
Ankur actually wanted us to share this story. He sees it as a warning, a lesson he had to learn in the worst way imaginable. And the lesson is this. Some shortcuts, they don't actually save you any time. They're a detour into something unknown, a place where the rules we live by just don't apply. And the price you pay for trying to save a few minutes, well, it could be everything you have.
Ankur says he will never, ever travel on a road he doesn't know at night again. Not after what happened. But after hearing all this, I guess the real question I have for you is, will you?